What do we have today? Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. I've got some stuff in from Anderson Ford Motorsports that I want to show you guys, and I think I know what this is from LMR, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's go ahead, open this stuff up, we'll talk about it, and there's a couple of things that I want to share with you guys as well. So let's get started. As you can see, we got a gauge pod, and down here is our wideband. Now this is the same wideband that I run in the Retro Fox and that I had in the Calypso. Also got the optional white face gauge. This is one of your cheaper options as far as like widebands go, and I've had pretty good luck with it. I do have the sensor that's in the Retro right now is actually bad, but that thing's lasted a really long time, and the sensors aren't that expensive, believe it or not. And then we just got a single gauge pod. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but the plans for this car is to put a supercharger on it. Now, I know that we went through a couple different ideas with it. We talked about doing a carbureted nitrous setup, and nitrous is pretty hard to come by around here, and it's very expensive. So I've made the decision that more than likely, I'd say probably 90% sure that we're gonna go with another supercharger setup. We're probably gonna change it up a little bit. I want this car to be different. You know, I want it to be different from the Retro, and obviously it's gonna be different from the Calypso because the Calypso is turbo. So trust me guys, it'll be cool. I really wanna see the difference between a supercharged AOD automatic car and a 5-speed car. Anderson Ford Motorsports, if you guys don't know, they've been around for a long time. They got some really cool stuff. So I always work with Donnie B over there. He's a great guy. But what's in this box is not going to be for everybody. This is relatively expensive, and some of you guys are just going to hate on this as soon as I open the box up and tell you how much. You're going to hate on it. But for some people, something like this is needed. Enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and open this up. These things are ridiculous. Woo-hoo. Check this out, guys. These are some freaking massive wires right here. Look at this. So Anderson makes these, and they're freaking ridiculous. So we are going to be putting these wires on this car. Now typically I'm not the guy to do red wires or anything like that, but since we do have the red engine bay, I figured why not. Although these wires are a lot brighter than the red under here. I think now you guys can see that I chose to go with a darker red under here. So I asked Donnie, I'm like, hey man, what's so special about these wires? You know, I need to, like, you know, let people know. They're silicone outer sheathing, ceramic and Kevlar inner sheathing, 40 ohm per foot core. He says they're not for everybody, obviously, as they are pricey, but very much top end of the spectrum when it comes to wires. Guys, these things right here have awesome heat resistance. So let's say you got a turbo car or something like that. That's where these wires are gonna shine. Or in my case, let me show you why I wanted these. These particular headers have a very thick flange. And as you can see, these wires, these Ford Motorsport wires, are literally touching the flange right here. They're actually already trying to burn. They're just really tight up through here, okay? As you can see, these wires give you a different angle. So let's go ahead and pull one off just to show you. They're thinner so they don't touch the plate up there. Check this out. Bam. Now, I'm not knocking the Ford racing wires at all. I actually really like these wires. But check this out. Look how much more room you have here, right? And they have awesome heat resistance. So that's why I wanted a set of these, and they're just freaking cool, man. So anyway, guys, if you'd like a set of these wires, and there again, they are not cheap, but if you'd like a set of these wires, head on over to Anderson Ford Motorsports. They got them in different colors. Check them out, pick you up a set, especially if you got like a turbo car or you're having issues with burning up wires. These things right here are top notch. I hate having to make videos like this where I kind of just mix everything in, but I got a lot of stuff that I want to cover with you guys, and I think we need to go ahead and address it. While I'm looking around, where's my stuff at? That's what happens when I work on stuff. It takes me 4 hours to clean up. There we go. I have mentioned previously on a live stream that we very well may go back to the Mega Squirt on this car because simply we already have it, right? If you guys don't know, this car is running a Holley Terminator X, which they are not making anymore for the Fox body. So that is true. Donnie B has confirmed that, and we are going to do a live stream where he can answer questions for you guys and things like that. But they are not being made specifically for the Fox body anymore, which makes something like this even a better option. Over here in the Retro Fox, it is running a Moats quarter horse. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of the difference between all of them, but I will say this. For me, being a newbie, I actually preferred the interface on the Mega Squirt more than I did the Holley. The Holley's not bad, but I think because I was already used to this, the Holley took me a little while to get comfortable with. I never really did get comfortable with the Holley, but this seems pretty easy. Now, there are some things about the Mega Squirt that suck. The biggest issue is going to be your idle air control valve. The logic that runs that sucks, guys. It just freaking sucks. You pretty much have to raise your idle up and just kind of bypass the idle air control and just let it catch the engine. If for some reason it gets pulled down a little too far, then let the idle air control do something. I found for me that it's best to not give your idle air control too much control with this. The Holley does a better job of that. You can give like almost full control to the idle air control and it does a decent job. I still don't ever recommend you doing that. I recommend you crack your throttle blade open enough to get the car to idle where you want, and then just let the idle air control catch it if it were to idle down too much, stumble, something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure we're gonna do this. I still may just go with the quarter horse. I don't know yet. So Matt over at Leach Motorsports will be doing the tuning on this. Last time I did it by myself, you know, did pretty good with it, but Matt's a lot smarter than I am, and we're gonna see. We're doing this honestly for you guys, because if I had to do it all over again, I would put another quarter horse in this car, and we still may do that if we can't figure this out. Like, we want to give you guys some dead nuts data, right? We want to show you what you need to do or how to fix your idle issues that we run into a lot of times with these Mega Squirts. That's our goal. If we can't overcome it, then we're just going to go back to a quarter horse in this particular car right here as well. So guys, at some point we're going to get on this. I don't know if I'll have this ready for Ford Takeover with the custom tune and all that stuff, but we're going to try. Also, real quick, let me give you an update on the transmission. I don't think a lot of you guys know that have been watching recently with this car. We have an AOD getting built right now by a good friend of mine, Stephen Grant. He's a badass transmission builder. He's got a lot of little tricks and things like that he does. So I sent him this transmission to look over because it already had some of these parts in it. And he said that it had a lot of the good parts in it, but there were some burn up clutches in it and a couple other things that he wants to change about it. We're going to change the valve body. We're going to do a shift kit. Modulator valve. Like, it's not going to be a manual valve body, so just know that we will be going with the Transco shift kit, so it will still have the capability of being an automatic, but this thing's going to hit hard. When it shifts, you're going to know it shifts. You're going to get this sluggish AOD out of here right now. Also, one other quick thing for you guys, I'll throw it up on the screen for you right now. So we took this car out and it ran like a 938 with the Draggy, right, which is pretty pathetic, having all this stuff done to it. Although the transmission is slipping and we're still on a stock throttle body, it should have done better than that. Well, I come back, I figured out my timing issue. We fixed the timing issue. First run after that, busted off an 897. Now, I know that doesn't seem that fast, and it's not, but that is a huge improvement. That's 0.4 of a second quicker than what this car was before, with nothing but a timing adjustment. The transmission is very soft in between shifts, and also the car ran out of fuel on the top end on that run. So I think once we get the throttle body, the new transmission in this thing with the shift kit, and we get her dialed in pretty good, I think we're gonna get the number that I want, that I had in my head initially. First, I wanna see an 870, but I want this car to run an 840 on motor, just like it sits, AOD, drive it every day, all that stuff before we put the supercharger on it. I will be driving the car again, showing you some more draggy times. I know you guys want to see some draggy times on the red car as well, so we'll get that out. This car is completely out of gas and has been out of gas for about a month now. So I've got to get some fuel in this car, get it back running again, which, I mean, it'll run, but you know what I mean. And we'll play around with it some, but right now it needs to stay where it is because this car is the focus, and I don't want to lose focus because we are so close to finishing it. Once we finish this car, guys, we're going to go up there, get to 65, bring it back down here. We're going to get started on that. Anyway, I know that's a lot of info. I'm sorry, but I just don't want to make separate videos on all this stuff. But I will make some separate videos where we're driving the car, showing you like the improvements that the timing made. I got one question for you guys. If you do any 8th mile racing or whatever and you understand 8th mile times, tell me what you think this car is going to run on drag radials on the street, having to baby it out of first gear. Obviously, it's not going to dead hook by any means. What do you guys think that this car is going to run in the 8th? Also, you know, give me some quarter mile times as well. I've got my number in my head. Remember, it's not going to be like it is on the track, okay? It's going to be a lot slower on the street, but go ahead, tell me what you think this car is going to run. And if anybody gets the number exactly right, then we'll do a giveaway. We'll hook you guys up with something. I don't know. We'll do something anyway. All right, I'm going to go ahead, wrap this video up. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And as always, go to Ford Takeover.